Who here's ever been in a disagreement with someone, an argument with a friend, family member, co-worker, everybody, right? Pretty much. Your hands didn't go up, you're liars.
Now you're in a confrontation with us.
Sometimes we don't even know how it happens. We're in an innocuous conversation, and then suddenly Susie's storming out of the room and slamming her door. Or we get our buttons pushed by someone and we feel like we're in the boxing ring with our gloves on, ready to spar. And it can happen like that. That's pretty normal behavior in our society, but I think that we can rise above to a new norm where people walk away feeling good and solutions have come out of the disagreement. In my family, it always was the same pattern. My mother would get so mad till she finally exploded. There'd be yelling. My dad would get his way, and my mom would give him the silent treatment for who knows how long. I inherited this lovely pattern from my mother. Let me tell you, I don't recommend this as a good communication style or a good leadership style. It gets you nowhere. Disagreements don't have to end in conflict every time. There are new ways to go about it, new patterns. Part of that I learned when I went to my coach training at IPEC. It was a year of intensive training where we learned a lot of real communication skills, not what I'd learned in my family. I'm going to go over some of those today so that we can get going with a new pattern of behavior when we find ourselves in conflict or in arguments. There's 4 things I'm going to go over today. Sorry, Epi. I know I'm supposed to keep it to 3, so maybe I'll take the last one off. We'll see. Can anyone guess what any of these might be?
Language.
So listen, yeah.
Attention.
Got all these letters.
I'll leave the room.
I'll just put it in. Hopefully I'll spell it right. Acknowledge.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alicia. Validate.
Confirm.
And clarify. These are all very important for good communication. The first one, and I think the most important, is learning how to listen to people. When you listen to someone, especially if they want to have a very heartfelt conversation with you or they have something on their mind that they need to discuss with you, don't multitask. Give them your full and undivided attention. That means no cell phones, no eating, no driving and doing this. You need to sit down and have a good time to actually put your full attention on that person. The other thing is what happens a lot of times is whatever they're telling us, we make it about us. But if we can detach from what our stuff is and make it all about them, they can really get themselves heard and it keeps the tension down. We have all had that when someone said, we've been trying to tell something to someone and they say, oh, I know that happened to me the other day. Or I know that same thing made me feel like that the other day. Well, that's making it about us instead of keeping the focus on them and what they're trying to tell us. You can also, and we probably know this here because we have to put it into our speeches, pay attention to the energy level that they have, the tone of voice that they're using, and the feelings that are coming up from what they're telling you. Also, you want to listen to what they're not saying, which is very important. People don't feel safe most of the time telling us their inner stuff, and they're not going to tell you exactly what they mean, so you need to read into it a little bit. Acknowledging other people lets them know that they've been heard. It also lets them know that you care. And the way we acknowledge is by mirroring back to the person what they've said to us or paraphrasing what they've said to us. Just saying it back to them in another way so that they know you really heard what they were saying. Possibilities of this are, what you're saying is, I'm hearing you say this. In other words, and then you repeat back to them what they've said. Validating the other person, it lets them know that they have the right to feel the way they do. I hear this a lot out and about. My ears are always attuned to this when I'm listening to people, especially parents and their children. I'll hear the children maybe saying they're mad or they're sad or they're crying, and the person tells them, you have nothing to be upset about. You have nothing to cry about. I know this happened to me when I was younger. Well, they do. If they're feeling that and they're having that emotion, then they have every right to feel that way, and it invalidates them when you tell them they don't. We're not judging or agreeing with how the other person is. We're just saying we can see it from their perspective. One thing we never want to say, I know exactly how you feel. We can't be in that other person's body. We don't know how they're feeling. We didn't grow up like they did. We have no idea how they're feeling. A better way to say it is, it's perfectly understandable that you feel that way. With clarifying, we make sure that we know what they mean when they use a particular word or a particular phrase, such as, I want to be more productive. I've heard this a lot in coaching with people. I feel lazy, I want to be more productive. Well, first of all, what's lazy mean to you? Describe that to me. What's productive mean to you? I might sit on the couch all day. Productive to me might be just getting up and getting out for 5 minutes. But for someone who's really active, they might already be, to me, super productive. So you have to really clarify what they mean by that. And you do that by asking open-ended questions and getting them to describe it. All of these are very powerful tools. Each and every one of us have the power to affect people every day, either positively or negatively, in our communication with them. Everybody is a leader in some respect or another, and it's up to every individual to lead with a higher purpose and a nobler vision for life. My personal mission is to interact, to raise consciousness with every person that I come across, and my vision is to leave this planet to our future generations as a planet of peace for them to inherit. There are all these tools that you can use, and there's this book that I read that's excellent if you're really inspired to do something. Will the Real Me Please Stand Up? 25 Guidelines for Good Communication. I urge everyone to practice one of these things on a daily basis, weekly, or for the rest of your life. Hopefully we can find a new norm. Thank you.